Welcome and hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is the award ceremony for the Autodesk Designathon 2025. In this call, we're going to announce the winners of our International Student Design Competition, and in addition, celebrate everyone who participated and recognize your efforts. I'm Thomas Carlson, and you hopefully remember me from the 3 days we spent together online about a month ago now. I'm being joined today by a great lineup of guest presenters. So I will be the host, but I'm being joined by our entire team almost who's been part of organizing this event. And you will hear from our colleagues and friends in a few minutes from now. But the people who are here are from our company, Knowledge Point, the Autodesk Learning Partner Distributor, and our Designathon jury. So we have Anna Sotirovska, who's one of the main project participants at Knowledge Point. We have Harold Weisra, who's an Autodesk certified instructor and an owner of an Autodesk training center and has been a jury member. Sally Evans, who's the marketing manager at Knowledge Point. Sonia Momcilovic, who's also part of the Knowledge Point team and working on the Autodesk Fusion initiatives at Knowledge Point. Myself. And because this call is a lot centered around Autodesk and their platforms and tools, we're also very delighted to welcome two representatives from them. So we have John Peros, who's the director of the Autodesk Learning Partner Programs, and Astrid Oye, who's the channel manager for the Autodesk Learning Partner Programs. And you will hear from both John and Astrid shortly, as said. So a great lineup of guest presenters that we're looking forward to hear from today. But this call is all about you. And your amazing achievement that you've done in this competition. So I wanted to take the opportunity to just start us off by saying a big thank you for your participation 3 weeks ago. We had some amazing results. So there was a total of 178 teams who completed the competition and handed in the project. You had 446, to be exact, participants who were part of these teams from over 17 countries, ranging from India in the east over to the US in the west, and then with big participation from the Africa, Middle East, and Europe regions in the middle, so to speak. So truly an international event. And we know that you spent a lot of effort and time completing the competition. And I want to say on behalf of all of us as a starting point that we appreciate your engagement. We wouldn't have been able to deliver this event if it hadn't been for the Autodesk learning partners who have been part of preparing and supporting all of you in different markets and promoting the competition, raising awareness. I'd like to extend a big thank you to these organizations as well. You see their logos on the screen, and many of them are in the call today, and I know they're looking forward to hearing whether their teams and who has won, etc. So, but thank you to all our partners who have really been part of delivering this event together with us as organizers. We also want to say thank you and welcome to Autodesk, as I said, because as I mentioned, it's all about the Fusion platform, as you know. That's what you all worked on to solve our challenge. And I'm really pleased to have John and Astrid here with us today. They have followed along in this project right from the start, and they've seen your amazing work. So, and they're here together with us to recognize your achievements. As a way of kicking us off, we thought it would be good and interesting to hear directly from the team represented by John Peros, who's the director for the worldwide Autodesk Learning Partner Programs. And he and his team look after a number of different initiatives, not only for Autodesk Fusion, but with a big focus on that particular platform. So I think he can probably share quite some interesting perspectives with us today. So what we've asked John to do is just to say hello and share a few reflections on what a competition like the Designathon, how that might be part of a bigger journey together with Autodesk in terms of learning and hopefully also developing your future careers for all of you. So, John, thank you for joining us. I know it's quite early for you in California, so we appreciate that you're here. And I'll hand over to you to say hello and add a few reflections maybe on the Designathon from your side.
Awesome. Thanks, Thomas. And thanks everyone for being here. I have to say a huge thank you to Knowledge Point for running this Designathon. Every year, this is one of my absolute favorite things to get to be a part of because the designs that you all create and the effort that you put into these competitions are just so wonderful. To see the participation this year, which Thomas can correct me if I'm wrong, but is nearly double the participation last year, is just so exciting to me. Inside of Autodesk, we often talk about the skills gap, which is something that gets talked about a lot externally as well. And there's all sorts of numbers that get thrown around. But the long and short of it is, in the industries that Autodesk supports, there are millions and millions of unfilled jobs because there aren't qualified workers to fill those jobs. And that is a huge problem across the globe that is only getting bigger. By doing something like participating in the Designathon, you're really taking a step forward to say, not only am I getting knowledge at school, but I'm now going to try to apply that knowledge to an actual project. And that is a step towards showing employers that you are ready to come in and fill those gaps that they have in that workforce. I will say that investing in using Autodesk products as part of your career gives you numerous opportunities across multiple different industries to be able to go and build a really long-term career that's going to be beneficial for yourself and for your family. And I think this version of the Designathon is really interesting to me because we're blending the architecture and construction worlds with the mechanical design worlds. You're taking a tool like Fusion that is typically used for mechanical design, machine design, consumer product design, and you're applying it to a problem that is more aligned with some architecture type work. And I think that's a really cool way to broaden your portfolio. And when you go in and you talk to employers and you look at having job interviews, having something like this to be able to show them what you've done, show them your pathways of thinking through the solution, that's going to make you a really appealing candidate in a world that doesn't have enough of those people right now. So I would say kudos to all of you for taking that step and spending the time and effort to build these designs. Looking through the designs is just so cool for me. To see the different ways that you think, to see the different ways that you apply the design challenges, to see the different ways that you work with the starter files that were provided to you, and to know that the training that the Knowledge Point team brought to you sort of influenced the way you approach this channel. All of that is very evident from the designs. And so I'm really excited that we get to share the winners with you today. But even if your name isn't called, I want you to know that by making the effort to participate in this Designathon, you have already taken a step towards moving your career forward. So congratulations on that.
Awesome. Thank you, John. And you will be back online a bit later on with a nice surprise, I think. So stay tuned for that, everyone. Now we know that you're all here to hear who's the winner, but before we get into that stuff, I just wanted to quickly summarize what it is that we did 3 weeks, or what you did 3 weeks ago in terms of the competition. So this was the part of the competition brief that you were all presented with in the morning of the competition day. As John mentioned, it's a fusion of more of the manufacturing, product design space, and what traditionally is more of the architectural industry. We want this to be fairly realistic in terms of what you might face in your working life, and having a client who would put forward a request to you, and then leaving quite a lot of responsibility and freedom to you to use your creativity and imagination to come up with a solution. There were some technical requirements or constraints which you were also shared and only found out on that day. Of course, in a real life scenario, you would have a more extended period to take that into account and put it into practice. But I think there's again a similarity of working within certain conditions that a customer sets forward, but still applying your skills and your creativity to the task. Once we went through the day, then you all submitted your proposals on the same day, which is really amazing. And again, maybe not what you would face in a real life scenario. However, it's very common that you would have a tight deadline and that you have to prioritize, cut some corners maybe, but then balance that off with some innovation and clever solutions. And again, we can see that many of you applied exactly those principles to your competition entries. So we feel, and I hope that you will agree, that we actually simulated in a very condensed time period, admittedly, but still simulated what is quite a realistic real life scenario. And that then links back to what John just said about being someone who employers look for and having the skill set that they want, that they're looking for in their businesses. Your designs have now, in the past 3 weeks, been reviewed in detail by our jury, together with our technical experts. We shared this scoring criteria as well, but there are 3 main categories that have been applied in terms of reviewing your proposals. We tried to find a balance between assessing technical skills, but also how well the proposal or the project responds to that brief that we shared, along with the aesthetics and the visual appearance, because we think again that these are factors that you will encounter in real life, that some of your clients will be very technically savvy and focus fully on that, whereas others may be more focused on the look and feel. And as a designer or an engineer, you need to balance both. We've applied weightings to find the balance, and we hope that this has led to a broad and in-depth scoring and assessment of the different projects and submissions that has come in. And when I say we, the people who have done this work is our esteemed jury. And if you remember, we introduced them briefly on the competition day. And I'm really happy to say that almost all of them are here today. You will hear from them very shortly. But just as a reminder, so we have Astrid, who's representing Autodesk in the jury. She is, as I said, working with or running the Learning Partner channel in the EMEA territory. And that means that she's part of delivering a lot of, again, fusion-related training and learning events, so has a lot of experience in that. Sally is representing KnowledgePoint. She is our marketing manager and has built a lot of the campaign around the Designathon, but also other fusion-related initiatives. So she has an understanding of how the end user, the customer, the potential customer thinks and approaches this. Harold is an Autodesk certified instructor, platinum level, and runs his own training center, as I mentioned. So he's a technical expert and has infused that perspective into the assessments. Furkan Gunal is unfortunately not here today, but he's been really key in this whole process. He, both in terms of the jury assessment, but actually he's been the technical lead for the entire project. So he's the one who's constructed or designed the competition you worked on. He's worked with our 3 excellent student experts who you met online on preparing the training, etc. But he's unfortunately not been able to join us live due to illness. But I wanted to really call out Fusion and give him call out Furkan and give him a special shout out for his work and support for this competition, because we as a team would have been able to deliver it without him. So I know he's watching and eagerly anticipating your reactions, but he's the one who's been the architect behind a lot of what we've done. And I also wanted to recognize that one of the student experts who you met, Mehmet, supported Furkan throughout this process of checking all the project submissions for the accuracy in terms of meeting the competition requirements, that the jury assess projects that have been reviewed from that angle, so that we had a double check there in terms of making sure that all the requirement boxes were ticked before they were scored and assessed. And the jury has had a very tough job, but this is a competition, and we need to recognize winners and select winners. And those winners will receive what we hope are some quite interesting rewards. So we have a first prize, which will be $1,500 in the form of either a cash reward or a gift certificate. This will be chosen by the winning team. And what we'd also like to offer is a set of free Autodesk certified associate exams on Fusion for all the team members. Certified associate exams are credentials that primarily working professionals are aiming to take. So it's exams that you take on, in this case, Autodesk Fusion, as a way of showcasing the skills that you have, the skill set that you have. And it's a portable credential because it's internationally recognized. It fits perfectly into a CV or a portfolio as a way of showing and demonstrating to employers that you've acquired skills that are useful to them and their context. So this would be part of the winning team's rewards to get a voucher to take one of these exams. That applies to everyone who will be recognized as a winner here today. We have a second place, which in addition gets $1,000, and then the third place, which receives $500. So with that background, now I know it's time for the interesting part here. So I'm going to invite my colleagues to announce a winning team each. And we'll do it in reverse order. So we'll start with the third place, then the second place, and finally round off with a winner. And as I mentioned, there's a bit of surprise as well. So even if your team is not called out in this initial phase, then stay tuned because we have a couple of surprises towards the end as well. But with that said, I'd like to introduce or hand over to Anna on the Knowledge Point team, who you all met last time as well. And I believe, Anna, that you're kicking off with a nice surprise, perhaps, to everyone.
Thank you, Thomas. Hello, everyone. Really glad to see you again. Hopefully, you all recognize me from all of those emails and from the actual Designathon, which we had last month. It's really, I'm really excited to be here and to share the winners today with you. So I know that you've all been waiting for this. Before I actually announce the third place, as Thomas mentioned, we have a little surprise for you. So as we saw in the beginning, this year we had 178 amazing projects submitted, and the jury really had a difficult job choosing the best of the best. And a very unusual situation happened where we have three teams with the same score. So what we decided to do this year is to let these three teams share the third place, meaning that we will have three teams who will be receiving the award for the third place. So not split, so each team will receive the third place awards. So Thomas, if we can go on the next slide, I will announce the first team by sharing the jury motivation or jury reflection on the project. The quirky nature-inspired design captured our attention and marked this project out for recognition. The organic design utilizes solar power and encourages airflow around the space. It offers an accessible outdoor hub where students can gather to work and collaborate. So the team maybe recognized themselves, but yeah, without any further ado, I want to congratulate Pure Design from Egypt as third place for this Designathon 2025. Congratulations, big congratulations to both of you. And now if we can actually see the design. everyone can see the design. So this is their design. Congratulations one more time. Very well deserved. Now I will pass on to my colleague Sonia, who will announce the second, third place award.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Anna. Thank you all for joining us today again. Yeah, I'm really excited as well because there are so many amazing designs that we've seen. I must say that I really admire the talent you have when it comes to using and working with Fusion. It's really amazing. As Anna mentioned, this year we have 3 teams that share the third place, and I have the honor to announce the second team that also wins the third place. So the jury has selected this project for its thoughtful use of natural materials and integration of renewable energy solutions tailored for study and travel. Features such as solar smart bench and innovative water usage reflects a strong commitment to sustainability. The design also stands out for how it responds to the local climate and geographical settings, highlighting the team's focus on both environmental responsibility and practical usable. The award for another third place goes to team Barely Bearing from Estonia. I congratulate to all 3 team members. You really did an amazing job. The designs are really nice. So now we can see the design. Yes, these are the designs of Barely Bearing from Estonia. I will now hand over to my colleague and member of the jury, Sally, who will present another award.
Thank you, Sonia. This was my first year getting involved in judging this, and I have to say I was so impressed with the amazing designs, the interpretation and understanding of the brief, how you thought about the different criteria to which you had to respond, and all the designs were amazing. And as Sonia and Anna have talked about, it was a really, really hard process. And it was amazing that we've ended up with 3 sharing third prize. So I am delighted to talk now about the third place team. We were impressed with how understanding of local climatic conditions clearly inspired the design for this outdoor student hub. By capitalizing upon these conditions for its design and energy supply, it offers a multi-level and functional space for students. So I am absolutely delighted to say that the joint third prize place goes to Not Found from India. So well done to everybody from Not Found from India, 3 team members. Absolutely brilliant. And here are a couple of renders of their design, which we're delighted to show you. I'm now going to hand over to Harold, who will announce the second place.
Thank you, Sally, and hello to everyone. It was really a pleasure seeing and reviewing all of your designs and see what you did in just this little short time you had. I know you're all waiting to see the first place, so I will keep it short and tell you the jury motivation for the second place of the Designathon. Its use of multiple renewable energy sources combined with innovative design made this a standout project. Its ability to adapt to the season and time of day offers a flexible study and a social space for students. The team clearly understood the brief and they brought their concept to life through an excellent 3D modeling and rendering. So without further ado, the second place goes to Team Design from Turkey. congratulations, Ahmed and Ibrahim, on your well done design. And this is the beautiful iGloop design we have seen. So, drum roll for my colleague Astrid for the first place.
Thank you so much, Harold. And as mentioned, this is the third year of organizing the Designathon, and it has, as always, been a pleasure to review and see all the talent that you represent. But as mentioned, there has to be one first place. And this project was selected as the first place winner due to its combination of exceptional 3D modeling, attention to detail, and design aesthetics. Combining semi-enclosed and open-air spaces, the design offers students an accessible, multifunctional, and aesthetically pleasing hub. Solar-powered, the project clearly takes into account its impact on the environment. And I'm very happy to introduce the first place to Sketch 42. Congratulations to all team members. And the design is as follow. So congratulations again, Sketch 42. Looking forward to see future work as well. And with that, I'm handing back to Thomas.
Thank you, everyone, and congratulations from my side as well to all of the teams who we've celebrated and announced. Really well done. As you've heard my colleague say, we had so many project submissions that the jury really had to work hard to select these, and it was very close in certain circumstances. So what we'd like to do as a way of rounding off is also to highlight a few honorable mentions and a little surprise as well. And I'm going to invite John from Autodesk to come back and join us again, because I'm not sure if you heard, but other than running the learning programs, he's also quite a fusion whiz himself. So what we did is that we asked John to, in parallel with the jury, check your projects and select a few honorable mentions and some highlights that he felt were really good in addition to our winning team. So John, I'll bring you back, and while I do that, I'll just put a slide here in the background with some of the selections to kick us off with.
Awesome. Thanks, Thomas. And I sort of mentioned this at the beginning, but I am so impressed with the designs that I saw. As Thomas mentioned, I've been using Fusion since it came out. And so when I go and I look at these things, it's really understanding the use of Fusion and the use of the features and the way you approach the solve for the problem and the challenge that was at hand. And there were so many interesting and cool solutions here. And this is just a sampling of some of those. I will say, I was so impressed with the balance of sort of the indoor-outdoor space aspect of this design. And you can see all the way from, in the bottom middle, sort of the leaf-shaped structures. Uh, you had the windmill-based power versus a lot of what was solar power. Glass elements, plant-based elements, just so many differences between these designs to accomplish the task at hand. Um, and I feel super happy that the team actually allowed me to pick sort of a wild card winner. So there were so many good designs, and to those of you who have already been chosen as winners, congratulations, fantastic work. But there was one design that, for its structure and its shape, really stood out to me. And being a Fusion user, understanding the features that it takes to sort of make that shape really impressed me from a student level perspective that this was able to be created. So, Thomas, if you want to go to the next slide, I would like to congratulate Team Rhythmic as my wild card selection for their design here. I just love the way this shape flows. This is one of the great things about Fusion, is being able to create complex but smooth transitions in your modeling. And so the way this stood out to me was fantastic. And actually, a little tip for anybody, if you go look at these projects in the Fusion viewer, the online viewer, you're able to do a walkthrough of the space. And when you go into that walkthrough perspective and you walk through this space, the scale and the feel of the space itself is very warm and very inviting. And you get to sit either in a covered area or in a partially covered area. You can see that little nook in the corner. I really just loved the way that the layout of this space was when looking at it from that walkthrough perspective. So that's another good tip for you all in the future as you create your designs. When you're creating designs in Fusion, the perspective is a little bit different than if you were sort of within the space itself. And so use those walkthrough tools to help yourself refine and get some feedback on your designs. But congratulations, Team Rhythmic. And I believe as a wildcard winner, you are also getting access to Autodesk Certified Associate vouchers to further your career and your usage in Fusion. So congratulations.
Thank you, John, and I can confirm that. So we will award the team certified associate exams. And if your team was called out as one of the winners here, we will connect with you over email to clarify the practical details of ensuring that you get your reward that we've announced. But congratulations again to all of you. Now, as we mentioned throughout the presentation, it was really hard to select winners, and we understand that, but at the end of the day, it is a competition, and there's always someone who has to win and someone who didn't. But you should all be proud of having participated. And as a small thanks from us as organizers, so Autodesk and KnowledgePoint, we're awarding everyone who participated in the Designathon an official Autodesk certificate of participation, which is normally handed out as part of our global learning partner channel when users, particularly in industry, go for training, so continuous professional development training. They receive this recognition from Autodesk as a validation that they've invested in skills development. So all of you should actually already have received an email to access your certificate. We know that emails sometimes get lost. There could be spam filters, etc. So if you didn't get your certificate, yeah, this was sent right after the actual competition day, so the week after. If you didn't receive it, then please connect with our help desk. It's Sonia, who does a brilliant job in managing that. So if you send her an email to the address you see here on the slide, alp-support@knowledgepoint.com, please include your name and email address that you use to register for the Designathon so we can find you. And then Sonia will manually retrieve the certificate for you if you didn't receive it. And I've seen several of you post on LinkedIn, which we appreciate. And I wanted to link this back to what we've heard in the introduction, that these are really good evidence points that you can use in your portfolio and in your online profile to showcase to future employers that you're investing in yourself and really putting yourself and your skills to the test as part of this. So with that said, we wanted to slowly round off this call. Again, saying thank you to all of you who have participated. I wanted also to just once again call out our Autodesk learning partners who were part of organizing and putting this competition together. We appreciate your support. They were our sponsors, and we really are thankful for their help. A special thanks to our 3 student experts, Bashar, Mehmet, and Taner, who did an amazing job in preparing some training material and also supported lots of questions on the Discord channel. So a special shout out to you guys if you're in here, and we really appreciate your support. I'd like to thank Autodesk. John and Astrid are here today, but they have been part of the project right from the start. So we appreciate the engagement and support to us and to be able to deliver this. The team at KnowledgePoint and our jury has worked really hard as well. So I wanted to highlight Anna, Sonia, Sally, and Furkan, and of course, Harold on our jury for all your efforts. I'm thanking you for that. And on behalf of all of us, saying a big thank you to everyone who participated. even if you didn't win, I hope you feel that you had a good experience and that you also hopefully learned maybe a few new skills and then experiences. I want to repeat the statistics. So 178 teams, 446 individuals, highly skilled and intelligent from 17 countries, a truly international event. I know when I was a student, I wasn't even close to participating in a forum like that. So I think being here, putting a project together in an extremely short period of time and coming up with some really impressive solutions, which you've heard from experts right from industry today saying that they were truly impressed and amazed. That is an achievement in its own right. And we realize and we know that you put a lot of effort into it and we appreciate it. So thank you again for being here. A big congratulations to our winning teams. And I hope that we get to see many of you in the fourth Designathon, which is likely to run in a year's time or so. So stay tuned for that. But with that, thank you again to all our presenters. All the best to our attendees. And I look forward to seeing and hearing from you soon again.